Mic check 1 2. Welcome to the Tez Down. This is our review of the Red Room tonight. And guys, feel free to utilize the chat box. The chat box is for you to talk to me about what we're reviewing, whatever we're reviewing, anytime we're reviewing it. Normally, this show is sports, unscripted, culture, unfiltered, and I think this falls more under the culture unfiltered section. What's up, Mikey? How you doing? What's up, Q? How are you guys doing in here? Conversation with Soft Rain. How you feeling? Um, Thank you guys for showing up for the Red Room. I haven't reviewed a Red Room yet, and I decided that I was going to do one, and we're going to review his Red Room and see what they have to say. So this is by way of the classic codes. I believe in this clip he has several uh, ladies that are having a conversation with other celebrities about, you know, adult things, bedroom things, relationship things. And while all the views that might be said in any parts of this video might not be my own, we're going to comment on them and we're going to talk about it. It's just the best way to do things. So, excuse my voice. It was very cold outside and I just got in. And it's also nighttime, so we went through a whole day today. We're gonna try to get it right. As you can see, I'll probably soaking up a little bit when we get through this, but don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to talk in here. Say whatever you please, as long as it doesn't disrespect anyone else or me, especially, because it's a little bit late to be crashing out, don't you think? But we're gonna do it tonight. This is the first time. This might be the only time that we do a red room review. We'll see how it goes. Um, I'm a little bit I can't say nervous, that's not the word. Uh, I wanna see how it goes. I wanna see how it goes, but let's ride. I do remember part of this, and I do remember making a lot of jokes, so I hope those jokes, will be represented very well, and I hope that you guys laugh at them too, because I surely did. I surely laughed at them when I was writing them. So, I do like to laugh at my own jokes. I think if you don't laugh at your own jokes, then you're probably not very funny, but I think I'm hilarious. So, let's get going on this today. We're gonna speed them up a little bit too.
Classic. I'm only gonna do this once. Classic. Yeah. Classic. Classic. So keep it all the way real. When it come to her, they gon' say I'm doing too much. I keep that thing close to the chest. I ain't gon' play about too much. Fool. I'll die for you, kill for you. Just know that I'll be here for you, I'll be here for you. Real life, fool. I'll die for you, kill for you. Just know that I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you. When it come to her, they gon' say I'm doing too much. Keep that thing close to the chest. I ain't gon' play about it too much at all. I ain't gon' play about it too much. Me and you, we building a life. No title is bigger than wife. Dude see something he like. He tried, I hope he can fight. Over that pussy, I'm ready to die. Over that pussy, I'm ready to die. So if he tried, I hope he can fight. Some people might call it toxic, I call it protecting the love of my life. She go tweaking off for a night, try to double back, it ain't gonna be no twice. That's why me and dudes ain't got the same taste, I'm like a plain Jane swag wifey. Being in love is cool, but she gotta like me. Treat her like a goddess. Amen. Treat me like a titan. Big dog. I think it's a day. Yes, Lord. It make me excited. Yes, Lord. She don't need attention from no other man. She rockin' with Byron. So shorty, you trying to get to me? She gotta invite you. Real life. I'll die for you, kill for you. Know that I'll be here for you. Yeah. I'll be here for you. I'll put it on the line. Real life. I'll put it on the line. Yo. Classic. Yo, it's Classic with the Classic Codes. Welcome to the Red Room. You have entered the Red Room. Classic. Yes, Lord, I see all the dogs filing in early. 333 to the gang, man. What up to the Correct Me If I'm Wrong podcast? What up to Big Skull 333? What up?
So not to stop them, but we've got a lot of threes today. It's a lot of threes today. We're gonna shout y'all out all day. Thank you guys for showing up. When you do show up, I appreciate that. And we're gonna move it forward though, so we can get into some meat here.
Like the video, you know what I'm saying? Like the live stream, subscribe.
Oh yeah.
We missed the joke. We missed the joke. We got to see the joke.
Can't say that what you said. Just somewhere between the last 30 seconds of what you said. I
like the video, you know what I'm saying? Like the live stream, subscribe to the channel, and let somebody know about the Classic Codes. Let somebody know about the Raw Society Coalition. You know what I mean? Classic. All right, let's turn up the speed on this thing. Damn, I didn't fast forward it. Hold on, let's turn up the speed on this jump. 1.25 will do it. Let's roll.
There's a tremendous amount of pressure on the penis. I used to have penis envy. I'm very glad I don't have one now.
I'm gonna turn
Hey,
it
I know that you
down
saw in
because
porn,
he had
like
it turned up,
jackhammering
too.
was what got the girl off and made her squirt. That's not working for me. Like
Okay.
dirty talk is
Okay.
more like, yeah, slut, choke on that shit. Like this, that, more into
I'll be liking that.
BDSM, like
You like when
power
there's
play.
really slut choke on this shit?
I'm not gonna say exactly what you
I'm crying. But yeah,
I
okay.
ain't say that what you said. Just somewhere between the last 30 seconds of what she said. I like it. I'm thinking if a man say that to a woman, I'm like, oh, hold on, he on some weird shit. I'm thinking like,
Some
oh,
shit that you probably not into, but you're thinking
hey,
like,
baby, like, yes, you're tired of me. You can do whatever to me.
Well, not with that tone, Paul.
Yeah,
Oh, what
like
I'm
that.
saying,
Why
I'm saying, like, you talk about that prostate boy. That's an exit sign for me.
What about the gooch?
No, I don't know what that is.
That's
I
the
just
strip
know-
that's between the anus and the balls.
We can work with that. We can work with that.
I'm crying. Okay, so what is this? Cock and ball ring.
Oh yeah.
You've used this before?
Hey,
No, I ain't never used it, but I
that boy Paul Pierce on here, freaky as hell, man. Let's get past the intro so we can get into the actual. I think the intro finna start in a second. This like they little teaser or whatever. No pun intended. Let's go.
know about it.
Oh, okay,
This is the taking over the game.
Okay. All right.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Truth After Dark.
Do you think that
We
men
got
or
intro
women
going on.
are
We
more
got
up,
toxic?
Tez?
intro.
What up, Tez?
What's happening, man? Paul Pierce is a menace.
Classic. I'm only gonna do this once. Classic.
It is what makes me come. I didn't know anything about my own body as a young girl. So it took me to like something rubbed against the vagina, the clit vibration, and I came and I was like, whoa, what is that?
One more question before we move further. I'm sorry for the interruption because
You gotta listen to what they say. She gonna say it took for something to rub across it, and then I came and was like, whoa. Now what was something? What was something? Was it shower? Was it the shower head? Was it what was the you see how she just left that out conveniently? Let's continue.
me as an interested man and hearing this topic, can you teach a man how to make you orgasm?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
You can
Yeah.
teach him like you can give
Okay, so it sounds sounds like we got to the first. Sounds like we got to the first question of the day, and this one was about: can you teach someone how to please you? And I do think that you can. I think that some people, and especially those who are inexperienced in the area, that they would benefit from listening to their partner on both sides. It's not a one-sided thing, yo. This is not a man or a woman thing. This is a people thing. You know, I'm not saying that everybody is compatible, but I am saying that a little bit of listening goes a long way. I don't think anybody is an expert at someone else's body. Not like this. So sometimes you have to learn that person and learn what makes that person happy. Learn what's pleasurable to them. And you also have to remember, in my opinion, this is majority mental. Maybe not for everyone, maybe for some people it's purely physical, but I would hazard a guess that the average person starts mentally way before anything physical ever happens. I've always had a synopsis that a date a date is so important. The way that you date, not just the people that you date, but the way that you date. It's really important. People have to see some people have to see, intent of where you're going, what you want to do. Being able to have those conversations is really important. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't some spontaneous things that happen. And I'm not saying that sometimes you don't just be in a mood and the night was right and you guys just didn't have to say anything. But a lot of times you need to talk. A lot of times you need to be vocal. And a lot of times you need to be physical. You need to show people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So yeah, she said something happened to touch her the right way. And she found out what she could do. I would hazard a guess that this was intentional, especially I would hope that it was intentional. Intentionality is the word of the day, apparently, in the word of the age that we're in. So I would hope that this was very intentional. But we're going to hear their story and we're going to comment on their story afterwards. If you guys have your own, you know, not stories, please don't tell a whole story in the chat today. I would like if you guys didn't do that. But if you guys do want to impart, go feel free. You don't have to wait for me to pause the video. You don't have to wait for me to ask a question. Whatever you guys want to say. If you guys want to talk, talk. If you want to write a question, write a question. I'll stop and answer them. I don't know how often I'm gonna stop, but I will stop.
From the boom, boom, boom. You do this, but so why women don't give the information to the man? You just keep going, and y'all have sex 1,000 times. But why don't you say, "Hey, babe, I think this is gonna make it go"?
I feel like
Like, you know what I'm
Bizarre
saying?
answered the question off the top, but very quick biology lesson. Everyone develops first as female. So when Trump said that sex is determined by your sex at conception, everybody develops as female first. So that's an inaccurate statement. So in essence, what happens at week 12 when you're in utero, all that happens is everybody has a clitoris to start. And if you're XY chromosome, it comes out and it becomes a penis. If you're XX, it stays like this. So the clitoris and the penis are actually the analogous body part. Most people think it's clitoris and vagina.
Again, we're not here to argue which came first, the chicken or the egg. So you guys, if you start doing that tonight, we'll stop doing this. These are the opinions of people on that podcast. And we're just listening to a few opinions and then we'll give our own as soon as we get done. This is a review tonight, guys. This is a true review. So we're not going to stop to say that's not true or that is true. We're not going to stop for either one of those tonight. I hope you guys understand the format of how this is going to work.
So what's actually more, let's say, analogous.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like that's girl math. I understand she's explaining science, but I don't conceptualize it the same way. I think she's essentially saying en route to having a penis, you must first have a vagina. I wholeheartedly disagree. Just because your penis have to be small in order for it to get big, that's like saying to be tall, you had to once have had been short. Well, I mean, was I ever short or was I just still in the process of growing? Right? If you ended up tall, you were always gonna be tall, right? So like if you had an XY chromosome on the path to developing a full size penis, whatever that means for said man or young child at that point, en route to that, you're going to say at one point it was as small as a clitoris, so we're going to call it that. Like no fam. If you had an XY and you were turning into a boy, you went from that little muddy looking tadpole looking thing and your ass was developing into a boy, and at one point in time your little penis was clit size, that don't mean we could call it a clit. It's a small developing penis. We're not gonna do.
Look, I would hazard a guess here that just about every guy that I know would prefer if you never referred to it as that. No one that I know that's a guy wants to say, and then the clit got bigger. Everybody has their own reasons why. Everyone does. But I guarantee you, that's what the guys are thinking. Just because you'll probably never hear this man ever say these words together ever again. I'm gonna play it one more time because I thought that was funny.
It's a small developing penis. We not gonna do that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So you saying we all had ovaries and then the ovaries dropped and those was testicles? No, them was testicles that hadn't dropped yet. They was never ovaries. Them was testicles. I don't like when they say it because they'll play with you in the public school system and word shit like that to play with you on some propaganda shit. But I'm a little bit too awake for that, even in the red room chat. I don't like it. I'm just letting y'all know I disagree. I'm gonna let her rock. Let's go.
Yes, which I mean by that is like the comparison to the vagina is the prostate. So like a G-spot orgasm is more similar to a prostate orgasm. Many men,
Hold on, we moving fast. Right?
we're moving fast, but I'm just
Hold on,
saying if most
prostate, so you
men,
talk about the
yeah, well, I'm just in terms of
that's
sensation,
crazy.
the
Well, they say
percentage of
that.
men who can orgasm from prostate stimulation alone is probably similar to the percentage of women who can orgasm from vaginal penetration alone. Most people require what's known as clitoral plus. Even people who can orgasm from the prostate actually require prostate plus penis. So if we just reframe our understanding of sexual pleasure to the clitoris is the primary function of sexual pleasure for people with vulvas, and the penis is the men's primary function, that in itself, we would reduce the amount of orgasms that women are not have by like 60%. So fascinatingly enough, when I first started in this space 20 years ago, the orgasm gap was 3-to-1, which meant for every 3 orgasms a straight man was having, a straight woman was having 1. And at that time, the big like mystery of the early 2000s was like, where is the clitoris? Like, how do you find this thing? And now we're all like, it's right there, Jim.
Yeah.
It's literally right
in your
there.
face.
So now that we have more
Listen, I don't remember that ever being a problem. I don't remember that ever being a problem at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know too many guys who don't know about it. I don't know too many guys who haven't experienced it when they've experienced their experiences. And trust you, that guys talk. There is locker room talk. It might not be as vulgar as you guys might think it is, but guys have conversations. And to be honest, most of the time they don't even involve names. Most guys aren't very keen on telling on themselves. Most guys are not about to tell a bunch of people what they did with a certain person. Now, let me explain this. And I got to go here. A lot of the guys that told what they were doing when they were in school and growing up, and even as a grown man, those guys, they weren't the best guys for you to choose to share that with. I know nobody likes to hear it, but I have to say it. A lot of those guys that told everybody their business, they weren't the best guys for you. That's strictly to the ladies there. A lot of those guys were not the guys for you. They told everybody what you did. I mean, yeah, the guys knew. Some of us told you, some of us didn't, but it wasn't the best thing for you. Not at all. I wish it never happened to you. I wish you were safe. I wish you were safe away from guys that wouldn't keep your secrets, those type of intimate secrets that you choose to share at such a younger age. They were terrible people. So yeah, real gentlemen, they might have conversations about adult things, but real gentlemen, we're not throwing around names. We're not throwing around names. Gonna give it what's up, Red? What's up, Conversation with Soft Rain? What's up, Classic? What's up, Five? How you doing, man? What's up, Mikey? How you doing? QU in here. How you feeling? There's some others that have stopped in that haven't necessarily commented, but hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you a lot. We appreciate you a lot. But back to what we were saying. They weren't good people. So yeah, to get back on track here, I don't see too many guys that didn't know where the clip was when it was time to go to business. When it was time for action, they knew. They talked about it. They explained it correctly. The diagram was there. And not to mention, growing up in the age that we grew up in, it's kind of hard to not know because of what media is. There's video for everything. There's how-tos, all that, and a lot of people, they want to learn how to do this. And then for some of us, not me, it was not me. Let me tell you, I wasn't the older woman experimenter when I was a young man, very young man, developing man, teen, some would say. I wasn't the let's go find the older chick that's going to show me what to do. That just wasn't who I was. I ain't gonna lie to you. I grew up in somewhat of a culty situation, and let's just say that we were all looking for our wives and looking for our husbands, because at that point we should have been married in their eyes before we even graduated high school. But yeah, we'll keep it moving on the classic codes review.
Literacy, the orgasm gap has actually been reduced to 2 to 1. So if we keep spreading the word, then we'll get to that space of 1 to 1.
I think Paul had a good point, and I want to just expand on that. He said, like, why don't more women teach men, like, hey, this is how you can make me come? I think too, it's just like with women, a lot of women are taught to be performative during sex for a man. So it's like, I'm pleasing you. I want to make sure you come. I want to make sure you're good. And it's kind of awkward to be like, hey, take care of me. This is what it feels like you're more in a masculine space, even though it doesn't have to be. And I know that, but I think for a lot of women, it doesn't feel like I'm in my femininity when I'm having to show you, even though I think it's an amazing thing and we should do that as women. But you believe that because you're like what you stated earlier is like, as a younger person, you were burnt out, so now you can't come. Actually, you know your body more as you get older, and you have a more likelihood to come now that I'm older because I know who I am more. Definitely wasn't coming as a young person because I didn't know nothing.
I was.
Good for you.
But I also just did that by trial and error. I think Paul's point links with this point I was making, in that because our perception of sex is penis and vagina, and that's what's mostly shown in porn, that's what's mostly educated, and there's a tremendous amount of pressure on the penis.
Hey, listen, closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? She just talked around a whole bunch of excuses as to why she's being a poor communicator. If he don't know he doing nothing wrong, I mean, you're actually doing the opposite of fixing your problem. If you're going to be performative, even though you're not being fully satisfied, then you're leading him to believe the wrong thing. Leading him to believe the wrong thing is not going to create a fix for your problem. So, I mean, at some point, you either got to stop performing and let that be a form of communication, or, you know what I mean, have a little bit of conversation. I mean, I don't know too many men who are, intimately active with a woman, whereas if she tell him, hey, if you do this, this, and this, it's going to make me go crazy. I don't know too many dudes who not going to, bring that to the table in their bag of tricks the next go round. I don't
Like in the same line of thinking. I'm in the same line of thinking. I don't know too many guys that if, a lady tells him this is what you should do, this is what you should do for me, and like, this will make me go crazy. This is everything that I wanted. I don't know too many. I don't know too many that are gonna be saying no. I don't know too many guys that are gonna say no to that. From everything that I was told as a young man by older men, you kind of have to listen, especially if you're an inexperienced male. You kind of have to listen. No, and from what I have experienced myself, people don't really like to waste those opportunities, because especially if they're not the type of person that I don't do this all the time. Especially if they're I don't do this all the time type of person, they're not going to be one to waste the opportunity that they got tonight. And if you don't listen, then they're going to feel like they wasted an opportunity, and they probably will never call you again. Probably block your phone number in this day and age, stop you from texting, lightly ghost you, unless they're Latina. And then if they are Latina, they're going to let you know everything you did wrong. Latinas are a little fiery, maybe everybody else would too, but the Latinas always get the rap for being the spicy chilies, the firecrackers. They always do.
know. I mean, unless you ask for something that's outside of his policy, right? Like it's women that make some wild ass requests these days. So we got to be careful on that as well. You know what I mean? It's just, it's some people, it's some things that have been normalized that classic ain't doing.
Classic.
No, ma'am.
I used to have penis envy. I'm very glad I don't have one now. Penises are expected to last for 4 hours, give multiple orgasms, put out fires, save the world, and there's no sex education for men. There's no encouragement for men to learn. There's this
Save the
inherent belief
world.
that a man just supposed to know. And so a man who doesn't know feels deep shame. And so his partner kind of wants to carry that on and doesn't want to inform him like, hey, I know that you saw in porn, like jackhammering was what got the girl off and made her
Yeah.
squirt. That's not working for me. And she also doesn't want to admit that because she might be afraid that her body is broken. She may never have gotten the permission before
Right,
to
what's
say.
jackhammering?
Pounding.
Oh, okay.
Like, no woman.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. If you start out and start with the pounding, you've already failed. If that's where you started at, like we're talking about the origin point. If that's where you started at, now don't get me wrong. I know what they're about to say, and they're gonna say, no one likes this. There's somebody out there that likes it. Sometimes you just gotta find your tribe. Just keeping it real when it comes to this. Sometimes you just have to find your tribe. What I will say is, if you can see that somebody is obviously in discomfort because of something that you're doing, you should probably stop and either ask a question or reroute. It depends on how smooth you are. Not everybody is smoother than the cream cheese on the side of your bagel. You know, some people are not that smooth. Some people are more like Velveeta cheese. They look smooth and creamy, but they're rough, hard to cut, hard to get through, hard to slice until you warm it up and melt it a little bit. Now, let me tell you, sometimes the warming up and the melting, in this case, doesn't have to do with how much heat you apply. It doesn't have to do with that. Sometimes it's about duration. Sometimes it's about preparation. And in my opinion, a lot of it is mental. It's about where they're at in their heads. Some people might like different things at different times, but this is why communication in this area is very important.
Just once. Pounding out, maybe some, but not a lot.
Yeah, beating it up, like all of those sort of like analogies that we use for good sex.
That's what we hear in the raps.
Right.
And on the porn, a
Yeah.
lot of men learn how to have sex through porn, and it's like, that don't feel good. Like that hurts.
It just probably make a man feel more of a man.
Yeah, and don't
That's
get me
it.
wrong. 1/3
That's
of
it.
women can orgasm from penetration alone. Now, majority of that third are going to do so while being on top. And
Mhm.
although it feels like a penetration only orgasm, it's actually still clitoral plus because their clitoris falls under something called rule of thumb, in which your clitoris is actually less than this distance away from your vaginal opening. So much so that you get enough friction from leaning forward to get outer clitoral stimulation while you're getting the internal legs of your clitoris stimulated. So there are a percentage of women out there who can orgasm penetration alone, but 2/3 of women will never. That doesn't mean that they won't still enjoy penetration along with outer clitoral or just enjoy penetration by itself. A lot of people's best sex isn't linked with their best orgasm.
That's a
Mm.
real thing because I've never came just off of sex, right? And I feel like partners could be like, damn, that's like, are you not?
That's interesting. She said a lot of people's best sex is not linked with their best orgasms. Let me think about that for a moment, chat. A lot of people's best intimacy is not linked with their best climax. No. No. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. I think the best activity definitely led to the greatest conclusion.
Y'all mark that as a record for that. Once again, he said the best activity leads to the greatest conclusion. Now, it'd be up to each individual person to define what the best activity is, but this is once again why you need to communicate with the person that you are choosing to do things with. If it's something that you don't like, speak up. If it's something that you do like, well, keep liking it. But I think it'd be extremely disingenuous for anyone to go into anything and consistently dislike what's going on every time, even if you really do like the person. I think it would be in both of your best interests if you communicated what you like and what you didn't like. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some people that ask for some really wild stuff. I've heard so many stories from my friends on both male and female, and even in between, about the things that they like. And sometimes it's some stuff that I really won't do. Just keeping it real. Red said, communication is key in order to achieve something real. Yes, it is. Communication is key. You need to talk about it. You have to engage that brain in a lot. And let me tell you, what I'm talking about engaging the brain is the majority relationship stuff. If you out there in the streets doing things in the streets, you're gonna be ready for whatever. Let's just keep it real. If you know what comes with being in the streets. So if you're in the streets and you know you're in the streets, you know what comes with it. All it takes is a look. All it takes is nothing. No real effort. They know what this is. We've all heard the phrase, you know what this is. We're not talking about you know what this is. We're talking about two people who are getting to know each other or know each other and been with each other for a long time. We're talking about this is two people entangled, for lack of better words. We're not going to just say relationship because there's so many things that could be. We're just going to say entangled today, and we're going to rock out with that word entangled.
Yeah. Let me say it one more time. The best activity definitely led to the greatest conclusion.
Classic.
I know she said a lot of people, so she left room for exceptions. In this regard, I would have to say I am an exception.
Classic.
Yeah. I mean, because how are you having the best intimacy and it doesn't cause like some type of wild explosion? At least from the male side. I don't know. Fellas, y'all respond to that if y'all feel comfortable. She said oftentimes or most of the time, people's best intimacy experience is not linked with their best climax experience. What y'all think about that? Even if you don't want to talk about yourselves, maybe generalize it, but it's up to y'all. I don't know, chat. I don't know about that.
Enjoying it, but it's like, no, I enjoy this. This is so good. Like, I'm loving it, but I just don't come off of just penetration, like I never have been able to do that. Yeah.
So I'm getting a good little education here.
It's helpful.
It's
a helpful reframe to be like, oh, okay, cool. Because then now, to your point, why don't people teach men this?
Why don't women just say like for me to listen to like Azar and like many women say I don't have orgasms in sex, then why aren't you explaining to the guy what he has to do? And I know it kind of sounds like weird and crazy, and it's just like for you to be trying to break it down for a man because you assume he should probably already know. But I just feel like when you intimate with your partner, y'all can have these type of conversations like, babe, I really like when you do this. This is really turning me on.
Yeah.
Like, but women just gonna look at you from afar and be like, oh, he ain't got it.
I don't think it's he hasn't got it though thing, because I never looked at a man.
Because when I was with her, she got it. When I was with her, she got it. But now with you, it's
no, the language of whether or not you perform up to task change based on how she feel about you. Let's have this conversation, chat. Welcome to the Red Room. Everybody on their way in, on their way out, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Welcome to the Red Room with Classic. But the conversation, this is similar to regards to whether or not you're a creep or you're just somebody who they had to turn down because of circumstance, right? If you're a man who a woman finds attractive and you try to approach her, even if she turns you down for whatever her reasons, you're not going to be described a certain way. If you're unattractive, you were creepy, you were dangerous, you were this and that. Similar in this regard, right? If you're dating a woman, if you're in a current relationship with a woman, and unbeknownst to you, you're not leading her to climaxes with regularity, right? The way that she has that conversation with you, or maybe even discusses it to her confidant, because these females will talk to their friends about y'all fellas. And sometimes they'll talk to their friend about you faster than they'll come talk to you while they're still with you. So be careful, it's dangerous. But yeah, if they talk in the language that they're going to use and the way that they frame the situation will sound drastically different to the way they'll talk about it if y'all should break up or if you should be getting on her nerves, right? Example, she may call and speak to her confidant and say, girl, like, he's great, whatever, right? She gonna say, he's great, he does this, he does that. She'll say some things you do well, and her homegirl listening, just enjoying being nosy as hell. And, but then she'll swing around to like, well, when we be getting it in, girl, like, I'm not saying it's not good, but like, I'm not, and listen, when they talk to their confidant, I don't leave this out, they'll compare you to somebody too. I'm just not like getting there, like, like, I don't know, like when I was with so and so, like I got there every time. They'll have that conversation, fellas. I'm gonna keep it real. They will. So that they'll frame it like that while they still love you and still dealing with you, right? Let y'all be on the outs though. Let y'all be on the outs. The diabolical way they gonna word the fact that you never made them finish is gonna be totally different. It's not gonna be it's fire, but it's just I'm not getting there every time. It's gonna be that's why your shit don't work. The language changes based on how they feel about you. You know what I'm saying? He said that's false information. I can't agree. What's false information? Tez Down says she already said she didn't communicate with men. We know a man would never say that because we are men. And two, there's no way all of these are continually getting pinged by the same dudes. Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with people's, harsh experiences too. When you hunching with a person consistently because you in something long term, at some point y'all catch a rhythm of some kind, right?
And that's a point right there. That's a very big point to make. If you're involved with somebody for a really long time, you guys are gonna eventually get it going. See, I feel like from what I've witnessed, most of the relationships today in today's society, and I'm talking about you don't have to say I'm boyfriend and you're girlfriend. If y'all are consistently seeing each other, talking to each other every day, y'all are sleeping together and you guys are having date nights and stuff like that. You guys are in a relationship. It might not be a traditional boyfriend girlfriend relationship, but that's a relationship. It's a relationship. That's why there's feelings. That's why on both sides catch feelings on different things, or you guys might not be at the we're boyfriend and girlfriend stage, like we're together stage, but don't be confused. Y'all are in a relationship, especially if y'all are sleeping together. Y'all are sleeping together and doing regular things together. Yeah, y'all are in a relationship. Sucks to know, doesn't it? But it's the truth. It's if you guys are doing all that stuff, even if there's no official title, you guys are still in a relationship. Relationship rules in certain situations, depending on the style of relationship, still apply. I've literally seen people give up on other people because they didn't mesh in the bedroom. But here's the thing: every time they told me they gave up, it's because there was no conversation had. The majority of these things can be fixed with conversation. The majority of these things can be fixed if both people are like, "Well, I mean, I'm into you. I'm into you too. You look good. You look good." And yeah, I don't think he was wrong. I think they will tell you that. Well, they will tell each other. Guys talk. Guys talk about what people were good at and what people weren't good at. They might not give specific names, but they'll definitely be like, hey, bro, hey, remember that girl? Yeah, she was decent. Oh, yeah, top 6, top 7, top 8. 8 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to necessarily say it the same way in detail that girls would, because guys really don't like talking about that same type of stuff to other guys. At least not the guys that I know. But they'll say something. People, it's okay to confide in your confidant. Just know if your confidant's got a confidant too, usually, especially if it's not you. So I'm saying, you plan on keeping this person long term, you might not want to air their dirty laundry out. And that goes for everybody. You plan on being around anybody long term, that doesn't even just apply to like the intimate. You probably don't want to air other people's dirty laundry out. Like they told you to get it off their chest. Now you're going to try to get it off your chest by giving it to somebody else. You just created a whole dirty laundry circle. It's a dirty laundry tornado. In some cases, depending on the groups, it's a dirty laundry hurricane. You know what comes with dirty laundry hurricanes? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Are there any volunteers to tell you what comes from dirty laundry hurricanes? I'm going to tell you. Dirty laundry tsunamis. Walls of dirty laundry descending upon everyone like an ocean wave, like a typhoon, shooting up water. Keep the dirty laundry where the dirty laundry lives. It's not good to air it out. It's just not.
Little communication, little understanding of body language, this, that, and the third, little exploration. At some point, y'all gonna catch a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? If y'all rocking for a minute, but you got people out here that's meeting somebody on Tuesday the 9th, and probably sleeping with them on Tuesday the 16th. You know what I'm saying? And or whatever the case may be. Yeah, and they expecting this person to treat their body with delicate care and walk them there slow and get them all the way to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying? On
Well, that's hookup culture, Mr. Classic. That's hookup culture. Hookup culture is not necessarily the same. The hookup culture part that comes from this is just people wanting to get their rocks off. Hey, relationships are hard. So I'm just gonna hook up. I meet this person, they look good enough. Let's just get it over with, have fun tonight and then move on tomorrow. We don't sit in it. That's what hookup culture is about. Meeting them on Tuesday on Tinder or whatever other place that they're meeting people at online, hooking up with them on Thursday, and forgetting about them on Saturday when it's time to go out with your friends. It's just how it works. I can't fault anybody for doing what they want to do. I'm just saying that they're not the same things.
The first go around, or maybe the second go around, or the third go, then at the same time, y'all will also say that the greatest intimacy comes with chemistry and understanding and additional emotions outside of physical attraction and all of that. So people do a lot of two-stepping and dancing different around these conversations. But personally, we're gonna keep it off of personally. Let's go.
So why don't you tell me?
But I don't think
You know
that
what
it's
I'm
an
saying?
assumption that every man should know. Like, I don't look at
And
it
I don't
like,
think that she always got it from the past.
yeah, exactly. I don't think that it's necessarily like
Yeah.
every man should know this. I think every partner is different. Even when you're with a man, men like different things. So it's about learning your specific partner.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily me like observing a man and being like, he don't know what he's doing. It's I kind of internalize it as a me issue. Like, yeah,
No, that's not how you're gonna say it when you stop liking him though. You're gonna say he don't know what he's doing.
I have a problem. This has nothing to do with him. I look at it as my problem,
Right. Until you get the stats to say, like, oh, what I actually experience is more of what the norm is. And I just require something separate from what that person wants. And don't get me wrong, I think the fantasy is amazing. I would love it if my husband orgasmed off of giving me oral. That'd be so convenient, right? So which some people can.
Hold on. Did I just see Tristan in the building? See, what up, dog? You just missed us on the Raw Reels, bro. We did nor am I an expert on these things. This is me giving my review. This is all alleged for content creation purposes and entertainment. But she just stated that the average man is able to sustain an erection through the process of providing penetration for 3 to 12 minutes on average. That is average, 3 to 12 minutes. So most men out here in the world is only able to crack their girl for about 3 to 12 minutes on average. So on the upper end of average is about 10 to 12 minutes. Now, y'all told me on a previous Red Room that a session was about 30 minutes. So just how much foreplay are y'all folks doing?
This is a difficult one to even approach. Because on one hand, you have a lot of people who claim that there's so many minute men out there that are only lasting 5 minutes or less. Then on the other hand, you have people that say that a session that they're used to is 30 minutes. But they say that the average, this has got to be a lot of people that they polled, right? Or checked in on. It takes 3 to 12 minutes is what they say clinically. I gotta say, after the age of adolescence and adulthood, most of my encounters have been longer than that. If you're not taking your time and you're just sprinting to the finish line, maybe 3 minutes. If you're sprinting to the finish line, but I would hazard a guess that that's not enough time for women, at least not most. I don't think that that's realistic. I don't think it's realistic to place a time limit on it. Like, this is the only thing that we got, or this is the best thing that we got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's realistic at all. I think it's just like every time is different. That's what I think. I don't think there's any formula that you should use to go in. I feel, this is more of a thing that you feel and less that you know. But I would say that my assumption is to approach every situation uniquely. I think every situation has to be unique. You have to see the way that they move. Now, I could totally understand there being a formula if you guys have been in a relationship and you guys are repeat partners. I could totally see a formula there because that's what gets you guys ready. That's what gets you guys on the go. And if it works, it works. But if you're meeting new people and you're going to average them out, I would say that the best approach is to take a new approach every time. Gauge the body language of the person when they do what you do, when you show them what you show them. And that's for both sides. Gauge their body language. See how any kind of touch, movement, or viewpoint makes them react. I think that makes the most sense. But to have one solid formula, this is the old trick. This is plan A. We always use plan A. We can't say plan B because with this type of conversation that has a different connotation. But we can say plan A is always the same. And you do this with everybody. And you think that, well, the last 5 people like this, why won't the 6th? Maybe they're just different. But that comes with paying attention to what that other person's feel good spots are, their desires, their needs.
I need to get a sound drop with that Kendrick. I think somebody lying. Y'all been lying up in here, chat? Y'all been coming in the red room with lies? Or is this lady wrong? Is her information off? Huh? Yeah, it's quiet now. I know it's quiet now. Uh-oh. Tez jumped off the porch. She said again, I would hazard a guess that knowing what one wanted and what one did are not going to be told in earnest by the people who always change their mind. He said, how are you going to tell me you're 100% positive something exists if you've never experienced it in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
Yeah, and I second that again. You can't tell me that something 100% exists if you've never experienced it in any shape, form, or fashion. That means you've never seen it, you've never felt it, you've never tasted it, you've never seen anybody else talk about it, or if you did hear them talk about it, it was a folktale. Like if you have no personal experience in this whatsoever, not even a picture, no video, no picture, no evidence, nothing. If you have all of this, I would think that you were lying to me if you told me that you knew, not felt or believed, but if you knew that it exists. You can't know that something exists if you've never experienced any form of it in your entire life. I mean, when I say experience, I mean as far as even visual. As far as even visual, you can't tell me that you've experienced something when you've never seen it before. You can't do that.
Tristan said, nah, she capped. That's a 30-year-old perspective. Damn, T, don't do that, dog. Don't do that, dog. Cause listen, hey, T, I'm gonna tell you, I've been your age before. You ain't been mine. You see how that work? Yeah, don't underestimate it, dog. When you hit 30, you're gonna be grateful, dog. Trust me that. Cause just like you, I thought I was running through shit in my 20s too, boy. I hit 30 and I became an
Classic.
But that's only for a few to know. You gotta treat it like buried treasure when it's like
I'm
that.
only gonna do this once.
I ain't gonna pop too much of my shit. Ain't enough ladies in the chat. Let's go.
Between 20 to 25 to 40 minutes. So even then, it's not necessarily the best fit of like lock and key either. So if we stop waiting, I was on the Nick Cannon podcast and he was just saying like every partner I've ever had, we always orgasm at the exact same time. And every partner
That's insane.
It brings up questions for me.
Is he being honest?
Are they being honest? It brings up questions. No one's there in the bedroom other than these two individuals. But I just mean, in order to fulfill this societal narrative of what sex is supposed to be, there is a lot of biological truths that just don't align for that. Like I said, even if we are your penis in someone else's vagina, and they need that to get off, and you need that to get off, then we have to talk about timing now of that lining up. Like there's a lot of different variables at play here.
So what would you suggest for a woman? Like, what are the positions that a man, like, if you know you just can't have penetration, then what do you do, like, to speed that up? Like, is it like
I don't see this the issue. Let me talk to y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me talk to y'all real quick. We're gonna get back to the reaction. Here's the issue that a lot of y'all have. You understand? And I ain't talking specifically to y'all chat, but in general, here's the issue that's going on is that there's a lot of y'all don't take y'all time. I think it's people being proud out here. There are tactics that you have to implement to ensure that you can go about things the way that you need to go about things in order to be a satisfactory performer in this regard. And I think that people just don't take their time. Take your time. Listen, fellas, I'm a level with the.
See, it's kind of funny that he said it before we even watched it. Taking your time is really important in so many areas of life. You know, if you have a task to get done, What's up, Soccer Mike? If you have a task to get done and you have so many things to do with those tasks, and if you rush through your tasks, you're probably gonna mess something up or make a mistake and then have to start all over again. Or if you rush a project, for example, and you have 5, 6 people, 7 people that you might have to answer to, or even just one, or even just 6 tasks. If you rush those tasks in a short allotted amount of time just so you can finish, you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna mess up. You might get lucky and not, but the quality of the product that you put out is gonna be lessened because you didn't spend time on it. You just wanted it to happen right away. You have to spend time on certain projects in order for the projects to turn out great. Not just good, not just okay, but great. Sometimes you gotta just sit there and take your time doing whatever it is that you're doing in life. I know we all want to get to the end zone. We all wanna make sure that we score a test down in areas of our lives. But you won't get to the end zone the way you wanna get to the end zone. You won't be fulfilled by getting to the end zone if you don't take your time the majority of the time. Learning the right amount of patience for the right amount of things is paramount to almost every area of your life. Pay attention to detail, be goal oriented, be time focused, but for sure, do not rush. If it takes a little bit longer to get a quality result, the majority of people will accept that over a rush job. Let's face the facts here. A rush job is not fun for anyone, unless that was the intention all along.
Fellas, because the fellas are active in the chat right now. The ladies are quiet. That's fine. I'm gonna level with the fellas. We all been there, champ. Human experience here. Fellas, we all been there. Where you got her in a certain position and she let you know, stay right, keep doing what you're doing. Because if you continue doing what you're doing, I'm gonna do what I need to do. She letting you know, her body language letting you know, she might even tell you, keep doing that. Right? And the fact that the way it's going is going how it's going, that got you ready to get on, ready to complete the mission. But she telling you, hang on, hold tight, and you trying.
I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree that as men, the men will agree with this, I'm sure, that knowing that you are very near to completing a job well done, especially when you are pleasuring and worried about them, that will set you off way more, unless you're a selfish asshole. Unless you're a selfish asshole. Now, I know there's a whole group of people that don't believe in taking care of the person that they're with in that way. I know there's a whole bunch of guys that believe in that. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, hey, don't be surprised if you stop having as much fun as you used to. Don't be surprised. I'm not trying to give any doctrine out or any opinions other than that. That is an opinion, and it's one I'm going to stick with. That if you aren't trying to take care of them, the gentlemen, if you're not trying to take care of them, then you're probably going to not get what you want. And if you don't believe me, maybe you can ask one of them. Maybe you should ask one that you're not seeing if you're not taking care of them. I'm just saying, take care of that lady, and a lot of your wildest dreams will come true.
Your best. Not, it's a race to the finish line at that point. And y'all, what I'm telling y'all, I said all that to get to this point. At that point in time, if you know that you're gonna beat her to the finish line, fam, slow down, pump the brakes. Even if you gotta lose the moment, you can find the spot again. You can find the spot again. Believe in yourself, kings. You can find her spot again. But if you gotta pump the brakes so that you don't get there, because it's worse, G. if she right there and you finish first, G, she gotta at that point the woman gotta be disappointed in you, King. So what you do is don't be proud. Come on up out of there, say something sexy to her, let her know that motherfucker feel too good. Let her know. And then take a couple, take you a couple deep breaths. You know what I'm saying? Do a couple of other I'm not gonna give y'all all the keys on here now. This still is the tube. I can't get too, you know what I'm saying, vivid. But don't be too proud, fam. If you gotta hit reset right quick, reset. Reset. That's that rookie shit. Reset, folks.
That's a part of communication. That's a part of communication, gentlemen. Talk to her. Now, there's nothing else to go with that. Talk to her and tell her. Actually say something.
Now listen. I got a policy. Once she get one, if you know she got at least one, especially if this ain't your joint, this ain't your main, this ain't your, you not locked in. If you just out here playing the field and this your situation for the situation right now, once she get one, it's fair game. You ain't got to hold back. You ain't got to pull up and pump the brakes. If she get one, G, you can go ahead and wrap that shit up when you done enjoying yourself. You know what I'm saying? But y'all fellas can't be too proud to win now. Don't be too proud to win. Y'all got to realize if you in that joint and it's some of that fire, let's say you catch hold to some fire and it's your first time in there, you ain't know it was going to hit like that. And you catch hold to some fire, right? I'm talking about off the entry, you ready to be done. I ain't know it was like this. This feel like melted butter. You know what I'm saying? You catch hold to some of that, bro. You're going to have to pace yourself with that. Y'all you can't go in there trying to get crazy. Cause come on now. Y'all let me know when I start capping. But see, now y'all on performance enhancing drugs. I know what y'all doing now. Y'all getting these baddies, and instead of having to go through the process that I'm
we're gonna move forward a little bit to more of that conversation. We got about 15 minutes left.
Then great. That becomes your go-to. And if it doesn't, it might mean that your clitoris is just more higher up than some people's.
The grinding with being on top, sometimes it's like, I feel like, is the man enjoying that though?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a difference. And again, that's the point.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Finding that lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Yeah.
Because he just prefers a bounce.
Exactly.
Again, talk to each other. Talk to each other. Maybe, just maybe, even if he doesn't completely enjoy it, just maybe he enjoys that you enjoy it. But a conversation is what needs to be had. Doesn't have to be, well, let's sit down so we can talk, Betty. That's not exactly what we're talking about here.
You require a scoop.
This. So sometimes I get like, okay, wait, let me,
Hey, hold on. Hey, Paul need to start talking because don't speak for us. I've always been cool with a scoop. I don't know what she talking about. Fellas, 333 if y'all cool with the scoop. They talking about the woman being able to achieve her climax by being on top, and instead of doing a bouncing motion, doing that hip rolling motion forward and backwards, because she gets clitoral stimulation up against your pelvis when she do that scoop. I don't know why these two women just sat there and said men prefer a bounce over a scoop. Now y'all been watching too many movies. I ain't never not been cool with the scoop. When they roll their hips like that, like they doing a Latin dance or something, they roll them hips forward and back, especially if that thing back there and I can grip that, man. Come on, dog. Y'all lying to me. Look at them threes. Look at them threes. Look at them threes. Yeah, ain't nobody ever complained about a scoop. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially when there's some thick shit going on. That scoop like a scoop of ice cream in the summertime. He said, I'm not tripping. yeah, no chance to say I'm not tripping.
Nobody
sure. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody. Who the fuck tripping over doing a scoop?
Classic.
Nobody.
Hey, no, don't speak. I play point guard. I know when to slow down the tempo. We're gonna walk this motherfucker down. Sometimes you gotta walk it down.
Classic.
Ooh, when that shit hitting too hard, sometimes you gotta walk it down, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, hold on. Soldier Thought said, he said, all this is overrated. No millionaire worries about their checks not clearing. Get the girl, do what you do, and move around. Nobody knows how many shots Kobe took to get 81.
So
he said, some will be satisfied, some not. At the end of the day, get in and get out. Save all the extra for your wife. Hey, Soul's
always come with that, y'all.
Sometimes you just gotta crash on that.
I feel you, souls. I ain't mad at you. I
Oh,
always tell
yeah.
people, women you ain't serious about, don't be putting out no grade A performances because they will get serious about you. Tristan said, not all, but I need stories to tell low key. Hey, I can't. Hey, listen, I can't
He
tell
admitted
too
to
many
it.
stories. You said you got stories to tell, or he said I need stories to
Yeah,
tell
I
low key.
wouldn't have too
You
many
got some
stories to
stories, dog.
tell.
I'm sure.
No,
I'm sure.
no,
Oh man.
tell my stories.
But yeah, man, when that happened, I had to let her know, no. That feel too good. I'm trying to be cool for a minute. Jeez, Louise. Yeah, y'all don't be too proud.
An awkward sex session, if they know that's what you need to get off, then they actually become an enthusiastic participant, like laying there on while you're scooting. Even if they're not feeling much, they can start pumping you up. Like, oh, you're so sexy. Like,
Yeah.
go back and forth. I love when you do that. You're so hot right now. You're
Yeah.
a goddess. So
That's what
happy
get it
to
right
be you.
there.
That is what
All right,
gets
so
it.
Yeah.
before we go
Communication.
further,
Hey, I'm not saying you're a goddess in the bedroom. I'm just not. That's not in my vocabulary. Y'all saying that, chat? That's a
No,
real thing. Niggas is
I'm
calling females
not.
goddesses during
I've
the act.
never called
It's
anyone
wild.
that.
I ain't judging. I guess I am. You know what I'm saying?
I've never called anybody that.
You're a goddess is wild. They don't even
Nope.
listen to the same women.
Nope.
The women, do y'all want to be called goddesses? Because they quiet in the chat, but I know they hear. Do y'all want to be called goddesses during the act? A goddess? Really? Because if a nigga texts you grand rising, you irritated instead of good morning, right? But you're a goddess is acceptable. Somebody make this shit make sense.
I was just about to say something because I'll be like, so y'all talking for the women, I'm talking for the men. Y'all talking like, all right, sometimes that the D ain't good enough. It has to be multiple things that has to go on for y'all to get to.
So why did you interpret as not good enough?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, you said
No, the D is great. And I said that. I said,
no
but
for
to
you
come,
to get to your maximum.
most women can't come just off of
All right, so this,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say this for men, we the same.
Yeah.
I think we the same too. I think that just because we having sex, it ain't just because the vagina is doing what it's doing. I think more men get there based on the reaction of the girl.
Mm.
Now you
I can see
talking.
that.
I think
Yeah.
that's like,
Now we
it
talking.
don't matter what it
That's some
feels
good
like.
stuff.
If you just sitting there, he ain't excited about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if you gassed, he gassed. He gonna be like, oh,
Most people are reactionary. You know, I would hazard a guess here and say that most people are reactionary. I know the people that I have encountered for the most part have been very reactionary. I myself am a reactionary person when it comes to a lot of things in life, not just this topic. You know, it's the reaction. You know, you like the reaction. You like the cheers, the jeers, and everything in between. I'm trying to like keep it as natural as possible, if you know what I'm saying. But the cheers and the jeers, you kind of need those when you're doing what you're doing. Unless you're a psychopath or a sociopath, one of the two. You might not care what that person thinks or feels at all. But then again, if you don't care what someone thinks or feels at all, you might not get called back. Unless there are ulterior motives. Ulterior doesn't always mean bad guys. It just means other motives that you may have other than the normal pair bonding of two adult individuals.
it's about to go
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Like you like that, no, you get the first 30 seconds going. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter what it feel like. But your reaction to
Yeah.
a dude, regardless of what it feel like.
Well, you just answered your original question as to why
Yeah.
women don't speak up. Because
Exactly.
they're like,
But for the-
I'm not enjoying it. But if I tell them I'm not enjoying it or I don't act like I'm enjoying it, then he won't enjoy it. Now nobody's enjoying themselves. So at least let me fake it so they
Get
can
the
have a
gas
good
up.
time.
So
Put the
if I'm
gas up.
telling you, if you a woman, get the gas up. You can have it
No,
in 30
Paul,
seconds.
be honest. That was the original message that you had. It was very beautiful. Be honest about your pleasure and what
Exactly.
works for you.
Right.
Talk about it. If it's not going well, say something so that you can
No,
actually get genuine
I
reactions.
feel like you should be able to have a conversation. Like I feel like you could just look your partner in the eye, and but it's on men too. Like me saying that like women tell your man, but the man got to be like, what you like? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what you like?
Yeah, and I think we can get ready to do what we're gonna do in a minute. So I mean, I'll leave him up there. So I mean, you gotta really. This is repeatedly coming down to communication, right? So if you're gonna be intimate with somebody, and today this review is basically on how to get there with someone. If it's not working for you, speak up. Because you never know if a change of pace, a change of tempo, a change of scenery, even, or even just the nerves that come with being. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the nerves. I'm asking questions here. This is not a testimonial, but I'm asking questions. Have you ever been in a situation where like it's harder to enjoy yourself with this person who you should be having the time of your life with because of your nerves? it's not that you're not confident in your game, it's that you really want to please this person. You want to be good, you want to be great, and you basically, you know, either you dry it up like the Sahara or you're as floppy as a noodle. Can your nerves play a factor, especially with someone that you're either is either unknown or you let's just say you guys might have some tension. Let's say there's some tension, whatever kind of tension that's there, that means that your mind needs to be released and disengaged from whatever point that it's in because that's where it's starting at. There's a lot of things that go into being physical with another person. Unless you're one of those people who doesn't necessarily feel anything. They just have an objective. It's a one-sided objective, but you can always tell if it's a one-sided objective. You can always tell. If that's acceptable to you, hey, that's what you do. If it's not acceptable to you, hey, it's not acceptable to you. I would hazard a guess again that most people that's not acceptable to. I could be wrong. This is just, my viewpoint and my take on the conversations that we've been having tonight. I would say talk to the person, especially if it wasn't everything you wanted it to be. If you've had better, talk to the person. And I think that if it's within their realm to complete, they will. Some of you just expect people to read your minds on both sides. Some of you expect people to just come in, guns a-blazing, on both sides. If you really like the person, you'll talk to them. If you don't really like the person, well, then you'll never see them again. At least not in that way. With these type of conversations, the one thing that they didn't talk about tonight was safety. And I'm going to talk about safety on multiple levels. Safety is a lot more than just, wearing the Jimmy hat or not. Safety is a lot more than just about asking for your medical records. Safety is about a lot more than just, do I know this person or do I not know this person? Safety, also is about what happens after. Are you just getting up and putting your clothes on? Are they just getting up and putting their clothes on? Do you have time for that? This is the world of aftercare that I'm talking about. That is the official name for what I'm referring to today. It's about laying there in each other's arms if you got time for it. It's about cuddling if you got time for it. The cute things that you see of people tracing the spots on their skin. Feeling each other out. Winding down. Just being cozy. Some people need that too, and that might be one of the reasons why you get less from them because they're not getting it. No. There's a lot of pillow talking men out there, so let's not act like they don't like to cuddle too. I'm not gonna let y'all tell me otherwise. These are things that we've all seen, experienced, and know exist. This is not one of those fabricated terms like from earlier. This is something that everybody knows. Let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, ladies, if he's not gonna lay there and hold you and cuddle you a little bit, he probably don't like you that much. If he always gets up, puts his clothes on, and runs out the door, you are being used. And vice versa, brothers. She don't want you to come over. She won't come over. Y'all still find a way to get it done. What do y'all think that sounds like? That's a convenience thing for her. She might be an avoidant. Who knows? All I know is communicate with your partners. Communicate with the people that you're around. Communicate at work if you need to. If you have a communicative job, communicate. Before you let something become a negative emotion towards another person, communicate. Even if it happened once, communicate so it doesn't happen twice. Sometimes all it takes is to just have that ball well up in your chest and say, hey, I didn't like the way that felt. Or, hey, I don't like the way that sounded. If that's what you got to say, that's what you got to say. Can we approach this from another angle? Maybe quite literally. I need time to think about this. Those are things that you say to people when you want to have a conversation. Hey, can you help me wrap my mind around this? I'm flirting with the idea and I'm not seeing the benefits. All of these things are things to say. If you don't like doing something, you can have a conversation instead of being rigid. Hey, look, I'm not a fan of that. It's a hard line of mine. It's a boundary that I'm not willing to cross. Don't just go doing it, hating it because it makes them happy, because that's going to ultimately make them not like you and vice versa. And you'll see the passion will be gone. And regardless of what they said about faking it, people can tell, especially empaths, if you believe in them. If you can feel that energy, you can tell. So I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. I know it's late, and we do it late for that reason. This was the review of the Red Room from the Classic Codes. If you guys want to continue listening to his conversation with them, you can go over to the Classic Codes and watch the Classic Codes. He had a couple different red rooms from most recent times. I'll put up the banner. This is the banner. It's the Raw Society Coalition. That includes the Classic Codes, Souls of Thought, Uncle Plug TV, Conversation with Soft Rain, and myself, the Tez Down. Each of us have different styles and varieties of shows, and it might be a little something for everyone in all of these shows. Also, don't forget about Classic Code Sports. We like to pop in there all the time. And the DDOG podcast. We just put up two new videos on the DDOG podcast where we review the NFL's entire week, and we did the 49ers Monday Night Football live. 49ers. That was a good game. It's a good game for some people. It's a bad game for others. But I just want to say once again, communicate with people. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. It's not. But if you have a shred of care for that person and that person's never done anything, actually wrong to make you dislike them, have a conversation with them before you start disliking them. You will dislike them if you have to perform and pretend to enjoy them. You will dislike them if you have to pretend to enjoy them. Talk to them about it. When two people decide to unsheath, and disrobe, there needs to be a certain amount of communication that goes on there in one way or another, whether it be nonverbal or verbal. There needs to be a certain amount of communication there, especially if everybody's going to be happy, especially if you guys are new and trying to learn each other, especially if there's some anxiety or some nervousness, some lack of body positivity on either end, because we all come in different shapes and sizes. Don't be afraid to speak about what you want and what you like and what makes you get to where you need to go. This has been the Tez Down, and this was our review of the Classic Codes, the Red Room. Thank you guys for coming in tonight and being here with me. If you're just now catching it at the end, go back and watch the rest of the show. Feel free to comment on it. I always reply to comments. Always. Thank you again. This has been the Tez Down. I am 24. I'm Tez. This is sports unscripted, culture unfiltered. We Tezed that Red Room down. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our special holiday edition of True Crime. Drew Peterson. This is going to be good. Goodbye and good night.